there was an incident that was recorded in Kumasi involving a fire outbreak at a warehouse in which we had some imported meters belonging to the electricity company of Ghana. We're told subsequently that the meters cost the company in excess of some $2 million. Well, following that, the Minister of Energy had given a directive that certain directors within the company should resign or should perhaps be interdicted or should be made to step aside for investigations to continue. The prepaid meters number 21,000. Well, the board of the ECG has decided not to follow through with the directive of the minister. And they said the minister's directive amounts to interference because it is inimical to the company's code, which stipulates that the company must resist at all costs a third-party interference in some of these investigations. Now, first, let's look at first the incident that took place.
Very sad incident, very, very sad one. And I think it's a loss to Mother Ghana. It's a loss to the nation as a whole. But you see, let me quickly add, I may say this before I start my submission. When I was coming, I heard on radio that some youth in support of John Mahama say some people in Ashanti region, especially the chairman of MPP in Ashanti region, must be held for the fire outbreak.
Where did you?
Yes, over the press conference yesterday, youth in support of John Mahama or something. You see, then I said this was sad. You see, there has been a force majeure or an act of God for that matter. There has been fire outbreak. We've always had fire outbreaks. This year alone, we are told at the beginning of this year alone, we recorded over 100 and something fire outbreaks. And I'm surprised that one has just happened in the Ashanti region, and you are saying that or alleging that they should go arrest someone to come and then interrogate him for arson or something like that. Anyway, it's a non-starter, but I thought that it's so sad if we descend that low. ECG and meters getting bent. It is negligence at its highest order.
In what way?
Yes. The argument being pushed by the board of ECG, with all due respect to them,
doesn't hold water.
Doesn't hold water. With all due respect to them, I know that by 1997, that ECG was incorporated to be a company, a limited liability company. However, after the incorporation to become a limited liability company, ownership of ECG is still government. I want the board to come and tell me ownership of ECG is not government. Who appoints the what's the name?
The ECG board.
The ECG board. That one is not interference. You see, when you sit down, yes, indeed, in law we have something we call indoor management rule. You may have your whatever, but then there is always what prevails upon your management rule anyway. Again, I hear this, the report says energy minister. I'm confused here. We now have power ministry and we have energy ministry. I don't know whether it's Donko, Kwame Donko, what's the name? Or it's Kofi Boa, who is
this one is the power minister.
Power minister, very good. So the report had it wrong.
Yes.
So it's supposed to be the power minister actually trying to use his powers in a way. Whether or not his directive be taken or not be taken, indeed, I will agree to a large extent with them when they say that they could see it as a proposal to him, okay? But then, I would also say that to a large extent, he's got the power to set up a committee to investigate. I would have loved for him to do one thing. Quickly set up a committee to investigate what happened at ECG. Now, in investigating what is going to happen, if there are officers or officers who are supposed to be investigated, you ask them to step aside and move on. That would have been a very good procedure for me. But to have just issued a tell this person to step aside or tell that person to proceed only or trying to kind of pass judgment when an investigation is not conducted yet, that would have been that's also problematic. Now let's come to the substantive matter. Ownership of the ECG, like I said, is not in doubt at all, it's for government. But we are told that we are losing close to $2.something million US.
As a result of this
as a result of this fire.
2.6.
We are also told by the report that all these meters were not insured. That's why I said negligence at its highest order. You go to a country, get a company to supply you meters, freight it, bring it into Ghana. I'm not too sure if they pay taxes anyway, because government sometimes has some tax relief and all that, because it's going to help us. I'm not too sure about that one. It comes to Ghana, you go to rent a warehouse, or is there a warehouse? I can tell. Okay, that warehouse is sitting there, and the warehouse is not insured. The content of the warehouse is not insured, and it involves $2.6 million. You know what? Our infrastructural need in terms of finances as a country is close to about $2 million per World Bank report.
You mean 2 billion?
$2 billion. Okay, per World Bank report, 2 billion a year. Okay, but I'm saying that at least a particular district could have needed or would have needed at least $2 million to actually develop our infrastructure,
for the year.
Now, this is what has happened to 21,000 pieces of meters worth $2.6 million, and someone is sitting down, and this is happening to us.
So you're saying that you're saying that the directive or the statement from the Prime Minister was appropriate?
No, I'm saying that the procedure, he's got the powers to a large extent. Ownership belongs to government, but he's supposed to oversee that ministry or that agency. So I'm saying that yes, it could have been a committee. Maybe if you call for a committee to be set up, and of course, in conjunction with the board, the judge and the committee investigate this for us, involving fire experts and all that. Then, having gotten this investigation done, then you can implement.
Already, there's an internal committee that has been set up.
Internal committee, I doubt it. But I think we should have an external committee.
Okay. Do you feel that as with normal practice, perhaps the top people need to take up a lot more responsibility for whether the actions of the subordinates, etc. Because to put 21,000 meters worth some $2.6 million will take directives from a higher authority within the organization, whether it's the region, etc. Now, we're told that the security of the plate itself was in suspect.
That's why I'm saying negligence. It's just negligence. You see, the point is
so it means somebody needs to take...
Of course, someone needs to answer questions. Someone needs to answer questions. Who is in charge? The commercial manager? Is he supposed to know anything? Is he supposed to know anything about the meters being held there? The technical engineer is supposed to know anything about it? I mean, all these people. And I'm saying that if you're setting up a committee to investigate, and they're supposed to be investigated, you may tell them that yes, if you are in office, you're going to compromise the investigation that is ongoing. So step aside for us to have the investigation carried out. After that, then you either take your post, or if you are otherwise maybe affected adversely, then maybe you will have to come answer questions and all that. So of course you can indict some officers, but then use the right procedure to indict them. But to just sit down and write that, look, get this person out, get that person out, for me that is a bit questionable, quite a bit questionable, especially when it comes after, you know, you heard of the sacking of the ECG boss some time ago, and it created a whole lot of problems out there among the workers and all that, and some were even promising us some doomsaw and all that if they don't reinstate him and all that. So I think that the procedure must always be followed and followed well. That will help us, yeah.
How do we need to have a company or any public corporation or company like the ECG not to repeat something of the sort? Because we have many corporations, public corporations, that also take into their stock or their holding a lot more itemized things that they need to warehouse.
Still, it boils down to the culture of maintenance. You see, and it boils down to the love for nation. Do we love our country? Whatever belongs to the public, do we care about it? You understand? I don't know whether I don't know the veracity of this particular matter, but it's not too long ago it was in the news that the ECG boss is paid so and so amount. That person gets this. If you're working at this particular agency, it's a gold mine. You're going to make a lot of money. What we do care about is how much is our take home. It's how much we're going to use to better our lot, but not what to do to protect the particular entity that is providing us this particular earnings that we're getting. We don't do that. So patriotism or lack of maintenance is key. You understand? To be cited as a problem. Completely. So if you go there and you don't have at heart, or you don't have in heart what you're coming, I mean the entity you come in to safeguard, then of course it's going to be problematic for us. By and large, all I have to say is that all boils down to mismanagement. If we manage our public sectors well, or sector well, then we're never going to have this problem. The clear case of this fire, I mean the cause of this fire, is negligence. Somebody don't care, seem to care that we have 21,000 meters here. Someone seemed not to care about it. Someone seemed not to care that, yes, there's no security around the warehouse. Someone seemed not to care about it. Who is supposed to do that? Let them answer questions. So I believe that, yes, we didn't do the right thing. If we had done the right thing, we wouldn't have been where we are today. And it's not only ECG in a way. It's not only ECG. Most government departments, most public sectors, in fact, we've left it the way, to their fate. And we don't really do what is right to safeguard or to protect some of these interests that we have as a nation.
Okay, so we're hoping that this can be resolved, but ultimately it means that for the purposes for which these meters were acquired, would be very much lost, at least in the not too distant future, but at
sure,
least
and the future is bleak as to whether we can get those meters again, because we, like I said earlier on, no insurance cover. So we are not too sure where they're going to raise money again to buy these meters.
So is money gone down the drain?
Money gone down the drain. There must be a committee put in place immediately to investigate this and get whoever, cited as negligent to be punished.